Alright, so today we're going to do the unboxing of the Kobra Plus. I was looking at a Kobra Max, but I thought that was a little too big for what I was going to be doing at first anyway. So I went with the Kobra Plus. So we're going to just unbox it and then put it together. I know there's 20 videos about this, but if you're looking at my channel and you're looking at this, you know, this is how I did mine. So stay tuned. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is just get some of this stuff out of the box. So it comes in a very sizable box. Like I said, it's actually a pretty big, it's a pretty big printer. And that's why I did not, like I said, that's why I did not go with the Kobra Max. Because it's a really big printer. Let's get rid of some of this. Let's see what we got here. Alright, so this is just foam. Okay, oh, I see the, okay, so I guess the first part we're going to have here is the bed. So this is the first part. This is the glass bed. It's got protective film on it, which we'll set this aside. And once we get this thing out more, take that out. So, okay, oh, here's the, in the center, here's the bits. Here's your PLA and ABS spool holder. And this is just a bag of parts, directions. And we'll get that out and just set that over here until we get everything out and we're ready to actually build it. Okay, and there is a weird piece. Okay, here is your, I'll probably just put that right there. Here is the actual piece with the extruder and your Z-axis motors. Yeah, pretty big. So here that is. So I'm just going to put that right now. Now these belts seem really loose. We'll see how we adjust those, but here's that. I'm just going to put that here for now until I get everything else out and I can get this box out of the way. Okay. Alright, so what else do we have here? Oh, this looks like the little screen. Yep, there's the little screen for you. Looks pretty nice. Bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be a little bit small. So that's nice that they gave you a little bit bigger screen. Okay. It's really packed, interestingly. It's packed. I mean, I guess they have to pack it really well, right? I mean, this looks like the base of operations here. Yeah. Let's see if I can get this out. Man, this thing is like sealed in here. It's really packed well. Okay, so this is your base and the cables. So we'll just get this out. I'm going to move this box and then we're going to put the base up there where it's going to go. Smaller footprint than I thought though, so pretty pleased with that. So we're going to get this box out of the way. We're going to do some cleaning up. And we'll get this where this is actually going to live. We're going to put it like that. So give me a few minutes. I'm gonna clean up in here and then we'll get back to it. We'll kind of show you how this thing all goes together. Okay, so here's what's in the instruction bag. Of course, you got your instructions. I'm assuming these are for the to install your printer, the extruder, and to the bed. These 3 screws, I think, are for the screen, the touch screen. Then you've got your bag of tools. They give you a little wrench here, a scraper. That's good. This is I'm assuming this is the test print program. This is the test PLA program for the test print. Your power cord. and your USB if you're going to use it. So that was what's in that bag, and the first instruction just says we're going to actually attach the thing together. So what it looks like is these. We'll have to see how we're going to do this. I'm sure we need to move this bed out of the way. There we go. I'm going to assume that these are going to go in right here. Pretty sure. So let me see how that's going to go. And once I figure this out, I'll get back on here. I had that thing on backwards. It's really easy. It just fits into these notches. So the notches are what holds it. And then you're going to use these 50. Now, there's 8 of these, but 4 are just spares. So I'm going to try and get these on by myself. I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. I think what you can probably do is tilt this thing and then hold it. Get those lined up. And get your, because once you get one of these things lined up, there you go. And we won't tighten it. We're just going to kind of snug it up. See, so now what we can do is take our hands off and get the other one on. They have washers on them, so make sure you have the washers, affixed. Yeah, and I'm just going to finger tighten them until I can't do that anymore. I'll get the other side so it's loose. And then we'll tighten it up. Not a big deal. Yeah, so now we'll do that same thing on this side. We'll just lean it over and I'll hold it with I'm holding it with my chest here to keep it. There we go. Let me go right in. Very easy. You don't need 4 hands for this. You can just really do it pretty easy. Okay, so that's in. I'm just going to tighten that, and then I'll come right back in. Because we're going to fix the glass bed to the heated bed. Now, with these, when these go on, see if we can see this. This, let's see, does that stay? Okay, it goes like that. So when you put it on with there's a short piece down here, right? There's a shorter piece, and then there's a longer piece. This longer piece goes on top. So hopefully you can pick this up as I'm putting this on, and all I'm doing is, now there's supposed to be 3 on each of this, so 3 on each, so there's 3 clamps. Let's see if we can make this a little better, on each of these. So I'm just trying to space them out evenly so that they're, and there's some lines on the table that I'm using that are helping. That just keep it kind of even, and they actually hold this thing pretty good, man. They're actually pretty tight, so that's pretty cool. And they're easy to put on. You just kind of hold and you can actually move them. They have a little tab, so if you don't like where they're at, you can actually move them a little bit, if they're not exactly where you want them. So not a big deal though. They fit nice and tight, and they go on nice and easy. So okay, that's that stuff. Now we're gonna put the screen on. So I noticed there's doubles of each of these screws. So when you have your screws, don't be too worried about which screw goes where. Like, these are the 3 small screws. These are these 3 small ones right here. But you got extra. So I don't know why they included extra, but they did, and that's cool. Okay, so let's move this here. Oh, this is easy. This just, okay, so the screen just goes on. There's 2 screws down here. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. There's 2 screws down here and 1 up here. I'm assuming the longer one is going to go on the top. It's got to be. And these are all done with the Allen keys. So the ones that affixed your extruder and that were the bigger, was the bigger Allen key. This is going to be, that was the 4mm. I believe these are going to be the 3. Yeah, these are the 3mm. So the bolts holding your screen on are the 3mm Allen key. And you're just going to get that in there, get it started. So, you know, putting this thing together is not that big a deal. Definitely not. It's a pretty easy thing to put. Like I said, I was going to get the Max. I'm kind of glad I didn't because I don't need something that big, and this thing is actually pretty big. Looks like it prints pretty good stuff. So I think if I like this and I use it a lot, I think then I'm going to get the Kobra Max, if I like it. But yeah, see, so now your screen is on. And just make it nice and snug. Don't over tighten. Remember, you're going into plastic, so don't over tighten. Okay, so now your screen is on. Oh, filament holder, no big deal. So the filament holder is really simple. So you just, there's a key. So I don't know if you can see this, my lighting isn't the best here. Oh, there you go. So there's a key in there, and that's keyed. So you just line that up and then twist it, and it locks. And then this says it wants it on the right side. I don't think that's right though, because it's, let's see, where do they want this? Front, it'll be on the left side. So this just clips onto your rail here. Not very hard. So you just take it and you clip it, and there it goes. It like slides into the track and then holds on there. That's it. Let's see if that's right. I'm thinking it should actually kind of grab on there. Let's see here. Yeah. Well, I'm going to come back once I get that affixed. I kind of don't like how that's working right now. So we'll kind of get this to where we need it, and then basically now we'll go into the plug. So let me get this thing on. I'll show you how it goes on. Extruder, or your PLA wheel. It goes right. There's 3 bolts right on the side here that hold the whole thing together. That's why. And then you could kind of move this thing around. But that's what was holding me from going in right here with those 3 bolts. So you just click it in. I'm sure you can, yeah, so you can take it off. These 3 Allen head screws here hold everything together. You can't get it in if you're on those. It won't let it go in. So you can just go forward of those. You line it up with the track and just push it in. Then you could kind of move it around. So that's nice and easy. Alright, so now the cables. I think I'm going to bring this, get you guys a little close up here of the cables and how those cables actually run. Just so it's a little bit easier to see. And we'll see. Once I'll just plug them in. They only go in one way. Shot down here. Putting these cables in. Cables are really pretty easy. They can only go one way, which is cool. But like you'll see kind of in here, hopefully this comes out. This one you gotta really get so you can move your bed, just move it slow. And then there's, see how that's looking. Okay, yeah, you can see that. So there's a plug right here and a plug right here for the Z-axis. They only go in one way. So there's like a little key on here. And it can only go in one way. So hopefully I'm not totally blocking this thing out. Let's see if I can get this way. And then you can see how it's working. Okay, so we may have to just, it's kind of tricky. I mean, the cables are very short on this one. So you got to kind of bend it and then align it with your pins. They don't give you a lot on that one, I got to tell you. They don't give you a lot on that one. This one is very easy. So this one, this one can only go in one way, so it's very easy. So there's your two cables there. We still got to fix all these cables up here. And then let's see, I think that is over here too. There's other, yeah, so we've got one more over here. These are your Z motors, your Z-axis motors. And again, it's the same thing. You just line up the pattern. And there's a little keyway on the top. So there you go. That's all lined up. And those are plugged in. And then once I get this all plugged in, you just got to follow directions. I'll come back out and then I'll show you one. Okay, so now all I did was I used these two clamps. I plugged this in here, and then there's another one back here. And then I plugged these cable clamps on here. Got my base on, and that looks like that's about it. I am going to check and make sure that there is a setting for your 115. Must be on the back here. You got to make sure that you're set for if you're in the United States, you want to set that to 115. And it's on 230. I'll bring this over here. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. But right there, you reach in there and you got to get that. If it's 230, you got to switch that to 115. You can use anything. I'm just going to use an Allen wrench. So there. So you just move it over and it goes to 115. And that's it. It's very easy to put together. Now, last thing, do not forget all your zip ties. There's a zip tie. There's two zip ties on each of the Z motors. There's a zip tie here. And I'll show you if I find any other zip ties that we need to be aware of. But I'm just going to cut those off with a side cutter. Okay, so something and then I'm going to plug it in and probably see if it works. All the way under here on the bottom, there's a zip tie. So you don't forget to get that zip tie out of there. And it's actually pretty hard to get to. It's not the easiest zip tie to actually get a pair of cutters onto. You really buried it here, but that's okay. You just get your cutters in there. You just cut that sucker off. Now I think what I'm going to try and do is, the table is actually really good, but this is really loose. And I know there is a way to adjust this. Oh, you want to take these, there's foam underneath these rollers. All I did was just pull the motor real gently. Took that foam out. Like I said, the bed is really pretty solid. It's a little bit off this way, so I'm going to try and tighten all of this stuff up. Because you really, I'm guessing, don't want that stuff to be loose.
And I'm pretty sure, so the tension here, I would think is on here. There's a belt tensioner. So, yeah, that looks pretty good. Like I said, the bed is actually pretty good. There's some tensioners under there, but I don't know that I'm going to even touch those. So I'm going to see how this works. I'm going to start feeding the PLA in, and I'll come back in any of the videos. Was, let me move this way. So there's a bracket right here, okay? So this, your print head ribbon has got to not only get clamped to the Bowden tube, I think they call that, right? But there's a clamp here. You need to move the head all the way to the end and then clamp it in, or it says some damage could occur. Now, I don't know what damage could actually occur. I'm just doing it that way, so make sure you pay attention to see any of the videos. I guess maybe I just didn't watch them all, but the head here, right? So if the head moves, see, so if the head is moving, see how that's, you can even feel it. There's a nut right behind this wheel, and you just tighten it up, and then all of a sudden you'll feel it stop moving, and then you just want to keep it so it's smooth. Same thing with the table. This table's actually pretty solid. I'm not really even going to have to adjust it, but make sure you go over that, because I'm assuming if you're printing and that thing is wobbling, you're not going to get a real accurate print. As you can see, get some light here. She's all set. She came out really nice. It's a very easy. You can see the table's nice and stable. That's nice and stable. It was really easy to do all the plugging. It was also really easy to adjust the tension so they're not wobbling. There's screws under the table, and there's the one on the wheel. Very straightforward, nothing very hard. So that's just my unboxing and my assembly. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually plug everything in, turn it on, see if I can get it to self-level, and we'll go through that. Okay, so this will be my first time turning it on. So you just hit, I know I've already adjusted the 115, 220, the 115s for USA. I showed you that's in the back. And you just hit the power button, and she pops on. Okay. All right, so we're going to switch camera views. I'm going to get a camera view of the
okay, so now I've gone to this
TV screen.
We're going to do the self-level.
Yeah, and then we'll self-level.
Self-leveling should be straightforward. It says, so you double check the wiring, which I already did. Return to the menu. Okay, so you click prepare, and then leveling, and then auto leveling. And then you got to touch the two. So let's see, we're going to prepare, leveling, auto leveling, and then it says use a tool to touch the printer nozzle to get it started. Okay, so I did that. Use a tool to touch printer nozzle to calibrate leveling sensor. Okay. So I did that. Let's see what happens. Okay, so. Oh, okay, there you go. So you just hold it. You have to hold it a little bit. So now it's going to self-level. So let me back out. So you see that. So let's back out here. And we are in the self-leveling process now. So this should take a few minutes. And it should take just a few minutes. And we'll see how that... we'll see how this goes. So it's preheating, so it says please wait. So I'll tell you what we'll do. I think we're just gonna switch off, and when this process starts, I'll switch back on. And I'll show you just what you'd be looking at if you're like on mine. I don't know if you'll be able to see those numbers, but it's supposed to be getting up to 190. So I'm assuming once it hits 190, she'll start the calibration process. So we'll kind of keep you posted here. Stay tuned, and then I'll show you once she goes into calibrating mode. I'll turn it back on. You can kind of see temperature. And now it's and you could see. Okay, here goes the leveling process. So now it's actually doing the leveling, and we can see here that it changed to probing. So it's actually doing the leveling process. So that's one of the things I liked about this printer, because this is my first printer. I don't know what I'm doing. So this auto leveling seemed like it would be the way to go, and it levels in the 25 spots on the printer bed. So yeah, now it's just doing the whole leveling process, and then once this leveling process is done, yeah, that's it. I think it's ready to print. And then what I'll do is I'll go in for the print. There's a little string coming out of here. I don't know. That's just the extruder, the plastic from testing. There is a little bit of stuff coming out of the nozzle. So I'll let this run. I'm sure this is going to run for a few minutes, and then we'll go on to the next step. Filament now. And you can see here. The temperature's got to get up to 230 before I go any further. So, and then we're just going to hit filament in on the screen. I've already got my filament put up here and ready to go. So once I get the okay, I'll start putting off. Oh. Okay, so then you go in, okay, and then, so we're up high enough. So I don't want this to come springing out of here. That's the only thing I think with this. Okay. Okay, so the filament is working. It's being pulled in. When it comes out the nozzle, after so I can see the motor going and it's pulling it in. When it comes out the nozzle, you hit stop. I'm just looking for it coming in. I can't really see it. It takes a little while. It's pretty slow. I'm just waiting, I'm watching to see when this stuff starts coming out the nozzle. Oh, there it goes. Okay, it's coming out the nozzle. I stopped it. And then we can get this out of here. Still coming out a little bit. This will take off. This we're just going to do that with. Says you can use tweezers. Okay, so I got that off. Okay, so I've got it. Fed now. And okay, so now what we're going to try and do. Well, that's how you feed it. Very simple. Now they have included a micro SD, which is right here. And this, I'm assuming, has the OWL G-code on it. Now, let's see, is that, yeah, okay, so, when you go to put your memory card in, it goes in with the gold, with the gold tabs up. So it goes in upside down. Right? You don't want to be messing with that. So, okay. So, you slip that in. And then you click print. Oh, and then there's the G code up there. Let me get there. So all I did was hit print. And then you've got the G code. Now you can't see that, but right there is your owl code. Okay, so then you print, you hit the print and you hit print. And it's gonna start printing. So now, let's see what's happening here. So here we go. So this is my test print with the owl. So I guess it's always an owl. And this will help me know if I have the extruder at the right, if everything is set right. So I'm going to be watching that. I'll let this print and hopefully it's all set right. And then we can
Okay, we'll say this. When I
move on
first
to
started
something.
it,
Move on to the. It had like a drip in there or something, so I stopped it, and I'm restarting it now. So I'm just gonna let it go. It had some residue on there, so you can't have that or it was screwed up. So
here it's gonna go a
let's see
little
what
bit
happens
different.
now I'm watching it. Now it's much better. There's still a little bit on the nozzle. I don't know why that is. Like it got on the nozzle, so I don't know if that's too much or I have to clean the nozzle. I would imagine I have to clean the nozzle off because it had another like big blob of stuff on there. But it is actually printing now. So now I'm just going to let it go because it's not terrible. I'm going to just see what this print looks like. I will come back once this test print is done.
All right, well, that was actually pretty painless. I really like the machine. It's nice. Here's my first print. It's the owl. Now, I'll come in here a little bit closer so you can kind of see. Hopefully that'll... There's a little bit of string up here, and then there's a couple little, tiny little... I don't know if you could see them. Oh, there you go. But otherwise, I mean, this thing came out really nice, and I mean, it's my first time screwing around with this, so I mean, I would say this printer is really nice. It's set up easy. The directions were actually pretty good. I mean, there was a few things that, I mean, watching online, a lot of the guys and ladies that are putting up videos have helped. There were a couple things, most notably some of the adjustments that I didn't really see online. But it's a great printer. I mean, so I'm going to start with this one and see how it goes. I got a time lapse of this thing, I'm going to see how it goes when I add this, when I upload this. But it really came out pretty decent. So thanks for watching, and you know, hopefully I'll be able to do some printing and for the airplanes and show how I do that and get that all set up. So thanks for watching. This is the unboxing, the build, setup, and the print. Take it easy.